Well, hello, hello. And I don't know if there's anybody in the chat right now. If there is, greetings. If not, I am sure others will catch up shortly. But this is. I got two people here already. Beautiful. As I've mentioned a couple times, this is the beginning of my mashup series, where I am taking the Rainbow Brite characters and crossing them over with the Lantern Corps. And normally, yes, I would have started off with red. Being the compulsive person that I am, I generally prefer to see the rainbow in its exact order, but there's going to be spoilers for that. Or that's, I guess, a bit of a teaser for something upcoming. Hey, Parrot Head. How you doing? So yeah, today I am drawing Yellow, the character Canary Yellow, with the Yellow Lantern, or the Lantern of Fear. And I figured while I'm at it, I might as well explore, the concept of fear itself and, the significance of the color yellow in a lot of media, especially like the horror genre and all of that, and how it actually loops into fear itself. Whereas my mascot, he will show up. No worries. I'm going to see how much drawing I can get in before he shows up. But yeah. It's actually something that I've found quite interesting. You are also going to see in the pinned comment there is a link to a GoFundMe, and I am hoping to get that, filled out because, well, Wi-Fi Bill's not happy with me. I'm having a problem with my mechanical pencil. Here we are. So, y'all know the drill at this point. I will occasionally go quiet, and I'm sorry about that. Goes with the territory. Generally, the Rainbow Brite characters. I should put my glasses on for this. Generally, the Rainbow Brite characters actually are kids, so obviously I'm aging them up. Hello, Ron. She's beautiful. She reminds me of a thought form I'm working on. I love that idea. When I was a kid, way back when, back when the Rainbow Brite was actually the original, back in the 80s, I was just in love with the show. And honestly, I can't tell you if I was really fond of this particular character or not. I don't really remember. But I love her design. And the outfit itself, I think, leans nicely to the lantern look. There's a few of them that's going to be fun to translate into because that's what I want to do with a lot of these characters, where I want to take their core look, obviously age them up into adults, and I can see that's not a circle. It was a good cartoon, yeah. I want to age them up into adults, but I want to keep the look of them as much as possible. Like, Canary Yellow, she has a belt with suspenders, which I am working into the outfit. The belt itself I've turned into more of a corset. And she had these wing things on her shoulders, which again for me really adds to that lantern look very well. And the parts like here and the arms and all of that, where it's more of a flesh tone, that's probably where I'm going to be working in some black. Still figuring out exactly where I want to put everything. But this is going to be the series of the crossover, obviously. And one thing I am hoping to do to make it a nice fun fact of, I want to be able to line these up when I'm done and to create one big picture. Hi, Grumpy. Yes. See what happens when Maki isn't around. Your tools have issues. You know, I know. I know. It was a good cartoon, yeah. So yeah, she's an angelic figure called Lanolly. I worked on her sigil and in my mind how I want to visualize her. You know what? Practice. To figure out these figures, actually, I'll be completely honest. There's an app that I frequent a lot that helps me figure out, and that's called Magic Poser. And I'll just pull up. I don't know if I'll be able to show you guys. Gives me the option of posing them however I want. So I can see where the shadows are going to lay. They normally do. You can have the option of underwear or not. I just like the ease of the natural look. There's a number actually of ones like that. I've got another one as well that's also quite lovely, and I go back and forth on the two of them because the one doesn't have hand poses, and where this one I can shift the eye pose, get different hand poses. The one's still in its beta form. But what I like about that one is where the other one, which I'm trying to remember its name right off the top of my head, is if I shift some part, like if I shift the hips, it changes how the legs react. And that's something like from someone who has actually done the life drawing and all of that in school. It's something actually I'm quite fond of. That's not neat. I thought if I just start sketching like a fashion designer does, I could get somewhere. I like long leaf figures. That is definitely more of the fashion design style. And I will give you that. That really was more of my starting point. Growing up, I always wanted to be a fashion designer. You know, I was always sewing. Fashion design, if I remember correctly, those figures, they tend, instead of being 7 heads high, which is generally the standard, tend to lean towards, I remember correctly, it's 9. And I don't even think I've got my old templates, but I could figure it out. Where you generally take, so you got your size of your head here. There. Third will be right around the waist. And because she shifted, it won't be a great exact show. Fourth will bring you down to the end of the torso. You got about the knees there. You got your feet at the end. Literally, actually, one of the classes, we would sit there and have this lined paper, the special lined paper, where you would start with the head in the one aspect and work it through. And I'm sure those, like online, those things exist. That is not the right angle. No, we don't. 9 rings, yeah. 9 heads in this case, actually. And I have a separate eraser. I should learn to use it. Dang it. Dollar store mechanical pencils. There we go. One of those things you don't really think that it would make a huge difference on, but apparently it does. Hey, Trap. Nice of you to stop by. How you doing? Hoping you're doing good today. Yeah. Working on my first mashup, girl. The Rainbow Brite Yellow, the Rainbow Brite Lantern Core mashup. Let's see. When I see her, I start to see clothing. I can visualize long leggings with flowers, etc. That's what I can do. I bought a compass to do circles. Yeah. Stack the 9 circles and go from. Yeah. Another thing I find, and that is actually a really good start. Really good place. Another thing I personally find helpful, and this is where me and Maki tend to differ, because my initial training when it comes to art is in more with fashion. I keep a Pinterest open for my designs, where I will actually go through, look up more of the styles that I'm looking for. Like something more street, something more, fantasy corset type look. I have a whole section just for my original character digit. Okay. Give me 1 second there. That's a little better. I can see where I'm. That's a nice factor about this. Gives me that different angle. I can see better. Yep. Have those 2 makes a difference for sure, yes. Oh my god. But yeah, please feel free to share out the stream. Yeah, hit that like button. Let's see how many people we can get in here, because I am definitely hoping to get that GoFundMe filled out, because, yeah, the bills are not happy right now. And I admit, I failed on that one. We all have those moments. Hello, Darth Hastor. Guten Tag, how you doing? Need to learn how to describe in words how I see what I see. It's like writing action to me. It's challenging. Honestly, I like how you put that. That is beautiful. Come watch the development of another lantern. I am going to do the full spectrum, all 9 lanterns, over the course of this series. But seeing as it is October, and I admit there's been things in my mind, things going on in my life that has definitely been having me lean towards this one a bit more. Fear felt right. And the more I explored into it, the more intriguing actually it became. I mean, fear itself, it comes across as a very negative emotion, but it has its own benefits. Fear is a motivator. Fear helps you define. That's where I'm struggling with that. Helps you set boundaries. It's that little voice inside your head saying, this is not a good idea. We should not be here. You know, that voice that is never there if, you know, people of a certain complexion in most horror movies. You know, that voice that says, you know, there's a noise coming from the kitchen. Let's not announce where we are from, like where we are in the house. Yeah, bad idea. But on that thought of horror movies, yellow is actually a very prevalent color in a lot of horror movies. I mean, it's actually highlighted, mentioned multiple times in both the book and the movie It alone. But a huge number of others as well. And I think that is largely because let's shift that. That is largely because a lot of horror movies do have that dark, or movies, horror games, all of that, have that dark purple, blue setting. So yellow itself pops out. But frequently, the characters that something happens to are clothed in yellow. Think Georgie. Coraline, that was another. Even in our own life. Caution signs. Well, initially, it is a fairly happy color in the same respect. Even in the animal kingdom, it is that color that gets your attention and tells you to watch out. It's good when I describe certain scenes. Let's see. I have a series called The Disturbed Space, and one character goes through abuse. It's a stuffed bunny that becomes her protector. It would definitely be fascinating to hear about all of this. Confusion uses its threat for combat. Honestly, I love that. And unique ideas, something that's so rare nowadays. Like the last Mimsy, you know, gone rogue. I love it. And I can see the chat moved. That's only one character. I like to visualize it much like anime. Love that. And I'm just finishing fleshing out her details. Yeah, she had this character itself, the original, had a very, admittedly, a very 80s look, but it was so perfect for translation into this. Her thigh-high socks make easy boots. Sorry, it's gone quiet again. I know. If let's see. 5 to 6 anti-heroes who really have dark, strange abilities. The antagonist is much, much worse by far, though. I love it. I look forward to hearing more about it and seeing it in action. If you don't mind, I may have to join you on this quest after the pinups are done. They're really great costs. Thank you. And absolutely. Honestly, this is one I might even put up. I don't know if I'll put it up on an Etsy or onto the Redbubble that I've had going for years, actually. Or something. Like I said, I want to be able to set it up so you can line them all up and they will be one continuous piece. Good evening, Zachara. And those of you with astute eyes will notice I did take this pose originally actually directly from the show, as shown in my thumbnail. That is a clip. That is a picture actually I took from the show. So this actually is a Canary Yellow pose. I just shifted that a little. Made a few shifts to make it into more of a fighting pose than her just flying happily. God, I love you, Grumpy. You better put it up. How else can I get mine? Love you. Honestly, yeah, I'm actually going to go back take a look at the stuff on Redbubble. Take some better pictures of the stuff I already have up there because years ago I was doing the schooling. And during the math class, I would get bored because math is one of my best subjects. So I would wind up doodling a lot in class, and I've got a lot of, I nicknamed them dark kawaii type stuff. Where it's the one was it like a devil's food cupcake where the cherry actually is, has the shadow of a skull in it. And another one was, I think, was an ice cream cone where somebody took a bite out of it, so it's upset. And that really upset actually the girl that was doing her math next to me. But I never understood when people draw that kind of stuff, why they give them a happy face. Somebody took a bite out of me, I'd be upset. Yeah, Canary Yellow had this very, God, that I don't know, bowl haircut thing. It's like when they plop a bowl on your head and go, I'm going to make you look like Frank Sinatra, that kind of stuff. So I think, a bob haircut would translate nicely. It gives that similar feel, but with something a little more updated and real. Something you would actually see on a human being. Okay. This is the part that always seems cracked and counterproductive, but make sure that is the way I want it. Yep. Okay, lighten up the lines. What do we got in here? Still got 4 people. I'm loving you guys. So there we go. What color is the Rainbow Brite lantern cord? All of them. Yep. And I had done a poll on Twitter when I originally had the thought for this as to whether in the colors, like, because there are certain colors where they're actually represented by guys. Because you had Red Butler and I don't remember the name of the blue boy. But I was looking through and there are characters I could add in place of. So I'm like, okay, do you want them all as female or what? And mixed came through. And the more I thought about it, the more I loved that idea. In the case of with the red one and the blue, I'm actually not just going to be doing one character. Well, I will be doing 2. Because the more I thought about it, the more I loved the idea of it. Should have. Okay. This is the part that a lot of people seem to like to watch. And admittedly, I do too. There's a number of art channels. Huda Chan, one of my favorite ones. Always fascinated by her. So the stuff she does is just beautiful. Where do you want? You guys want to see this stuff? Probably. And eventually, I'd love to be as smooth as she does it. Okay, catching up with you guys while I pour out my water. Doing research on what's known as artifacts or items that have magical powers, such as the Spear of Destiny. So the antagonist is a quest for power, of course. The more you talk about it, the more I'm like actually excited to hear about this. Like, are you gonna do this up and like crowdsource it? Because I would totally back that. The more you talk about it, the more I'm excited about it. Yeah. Bleach is an influence too. I'm not even trying to say that word or name. It's scary, but not unreadable. Dude, no, actually, I'm old-fashioned. My hands do shake, so I as much as this becomes a struggle, I'm not even trying digital. What's the emotion in the Rainbow Brite? Like Red Lantern's rage. I did actually have the debate of putting the actual word down, but I think that would take something away from the drawing in this case. This one is fear. Yes, orange represents green, blue is hope. Fun fact, I actually have a mirror that I sandblasted the hope symbol on. It's particularly interesting. I love that subject. Yeah. Yes, red is rage. Orange is greed. Fun fact, there's actually only one proper orange lantern because it's greed. He doesn't want to share. Yellow is fear, and probably the second most well-known of the lanterns, because Sinestro is one of the, like, just as almost as well known as Hal Jordan. Of course, green being will. Blue is hope. Indigo is compassion. Purple is love. White is life. And black is death. And yes, I'm doing all 9 colors. Not today. Individually. And I don't know if I'm going to get the full thing colored in, because I am hoping to do the background. I'm debating back and forth. I'm doing the back. Probably going to do the background with a galaxy type effect. But in order to get that done, I want to have her dry. Funny thing, interesting thing. This actually was the class I missed in high school. Because I went to an art school. That's a little too pigmented. And my media teacher, and media as in the stuff you actually work with, he was actually a renowned watercolor artist. To the point, actually, my sister, just out of sheer coincidence, my sister now has one of his pieces in her house. And she didn't even notice. She didn't even know that that was my teacher until I made a comment. and that was Roy Henry Wright. But I missed the watercolor part of the class because I wound up getting the chicken pox. Okay. So all of this that you guys see is, for lack of better, self-taught. And what I pick up on YouTube and that kind of stuff. Okay, I like that. Eventually I'd like to get some better brushes. These are my best ones. What do we got here? Yeah, Larfleeze. You got it. Oh. Sorry if I leave something highlighted. Hey, Amber. Thank you. Hope you have a great evening, sweetie. He's looking forward to the bleach redux. Blog and installments are free. Divide it up in 3 self-published novels. Do it in novels. I mean, when you're in a good crowd for that. And that kind of thing. Something unique and, a breath of fresh air. Yeah. That'll go over beautifully. Like I said, I'm excited to read it. I am a bit of a reading buff. Not that I've had the time to do it, or I've found the time. It's one of those things you really got to make the time for. And I admit I haven't been as good about doing that, and I should. Okay, initial coloring. That drop came up a little intense. There we go. That's better. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know why I'm apologizing. And I completely lost where I was. I remember it was just the Green Lantern Corps. Honestly, I think the Green Lantern Corps, or the Lantern Corps, expanded sometime when I was younger, because I do have this picture, and I did send it to Grumpy when I was originally contemplating this. That was, God, it was like the whole Lantern Corps was Hal, but it was a Hal Jordan episode. It was a Hal Jordan cover. But it had the full rainbow, and I don't know what year that was, though, off the top of my head. Oh, no. do it. Just do it. Hi. How you doing, babe? Thank you. I admit I had tossed this one around in my head for a while, but in this kind of stuff, you guys actually do have. I will be completely honest. You do have Grumpy to thank for encouraging me on this stuff. He has been an absolute delight for encouraging. And Maki for getting me back into this stuff. I hadn't touched this stuff in years. Like drawing in general. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to be doing the purple. I'm more of a purpley pink because, again, it seems to go back and forth on how they draw it. Good morning, Stieg. Eventually, I'll learn to do the coloring and shading and stuff like Maki does. My God, his stuff is just gorgeous. See, it's definitely not for the easily shocked, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, definitely publish it. I know enough people that would definitely back it. And like I said, there's a huge community here that is all about that stuff. Just having that moment of figuring out in my head where I want to do what color and what feels natural. These parts I'm going to leave as white because that, again, nods back to the original character. Yeah. That's a great idea. Outline the first few chapters, see if it's received well. Kai is a great one to talk to about that stuff too, because he recently published a book. That's Kai MFS. Yes, Hollywood's not doing it for us. And it pains me to say that, being a comic book fan myself. I'm always excited. Anything DC, Marvel, anything like that. But yeah, it's not like it used to be. No, I'm gonna do that. That's feeling more natural. Sorry, trying not to get quiet on. Yeah, I always have been. I grew up with it. Super Friends and all of the wonderful stuff that came out in the 90s. Like Batman, the animated series, the Spider-Man series. X-Men, who anyone who has seen that would, agrees. They did Phoenix the best there, the Phoenix Saga. Did not mix up enough of that yellow. There we go. That's still not the right shade. Oh well. We'll do it live. Make it work. Sorry, give me one sec. Yep, still comic book fans. Real comic book. Yep, nothing. I'm not sure if it's this one or one of the other books I've got, where I actually redrew Safe Space, because that was just a hot mess. Mm-hmm. Cartoon cared about the original, and they actually cared about the characters themselves too. I mean, that was my frustration, even with the X-Men movies in the original series X-Men movies back in the beginning of the 2000s. Well, they did a lot of characters decently. It was a tragedy what they did to Rogue. And I get it. Because they didn't have the rights to Ms. Marvel, they couldn't give her the full potential. But in some respect, they could have created a character that was basically Ms. Marvel, and we all would have pretended and just given her the powers that she deserves. That gives her the full unleash. I won't even talk about The Last Stand. I mean, that's the only movie that ever made me rage quit. You guys can't see what color I'm going for. I will work that out eventually. Okay. I'm thinking I want to add, just to make this a bit interesting, a little touch of purple there. A little bit of brown. Because I'm working out the beginning of the black color. I'm just figuring out the shade I want. And I think that'll do nicely. And I'm sure a couple of you are chuckling at me because I'm probably coming up, oh damn it, doing some very Bob Ross vibes here. Happy little accents. And that's why we have acrylic paint and whiteout. Hey. Hi, Maki. Is she wearing a thong? No. Like all proper... I mean, that easily would have... And I probably could have made that into kind of a short type of situation. I'm making this one a full bodysuit. But yes, y'all can break into the thong song.
Do you want to know something, Mom?
Mm-hmm. It's weird about the new comic book film fans have rarely ever read a comic book, right? I'm sure Maki's chuckling at me because this is the stuff he always gets. Well, that and teased about camel toe. Actually, Genius, which brush you're using? There we go. Damn. I got to 50 comics like every month now. Yeah, I know. And even a lot of like real comic book buffs, like Second Street Marvel. More often than not, he's more excited about the independent ones. I mean, I've heard him talk about the Soska sisters so many times. Oh my god. Yeah. Reality is, you can't please everyone. Not even Nutella can please everybody. That was a hard day for me when I realized that there are people offended by Nutella.
Offended by Nutella?
Yes.
Nutella's delicious.
Yes, offended by Nutella. Right? Yeah,
I
it's
honestly
sad
feel
and it's
bad
true.
for people who are vegan because the vegan teacher is also vegan.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, turns out she basically uses a Crayola marker, and Crayola is not vegan. So call me Chris, outsmarted her, and blah blah blah.
Yes, by Natal. It's the sugar in it and the palm kernel oil that seems to upset a lot of people.
Ugh, palm kernel oil. That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, palm kernel oil is not usually, God, was it harvested ethically? I don't see these people getting upset about coffee, just for the record. You know. Yeah, darker shade of yellow. And I'm sure there's a few people who are more experienced with this that are probably cringing at me the way I do this. I'm still learning. And I clean them off. And I do want to add just a drop purple. Basic color theory. You want to darken a color, you add its opposite. And it doesn't so much it doesn't just darken it, it dulls it a little. Makes it a little more gray. Hi, dastardly. Yeah, I always go for some chocolate. Yeah, how big are the crabs? Excellent question. And I'm sorry, you guys are going to be hearing my Kryptonian kitty, because it is her noisy week.
Yeah, Kara is on her noisy week.
Yeah, I was talking about you.
So don't judge.
Yeah, I was talking about you, Kara.
Yeah.
I should have dabbed that off. Oh well. Let's fix. Clean that off a bit. Oh well. Make it work. It is seriously awesome that you guys are going on like just full on conversations. I'm loving this. And yeah, anyone kicking around? I do have cat walking on my paint. Great. It was not what I was originally going to say. In the pinned comment, I have a GoFundMe because my Wi-Fi bill is very angry and they are threatening to shut it off. So, yeah, any help would be wonderful. Hi, Cara. Very cute. Nope, don't put your paw there. Not the one you guys were expecting. Here, rub against that finger. Don't be a pain. Thank you. I admit, I'm not as good on the. I haven't been as good on regular posting, which is a huge. Either having a regular stream or a regular post. Life has gotten complicated. But it's the reality, you know. You gotta learn to work around it, and I'm trying. That being said, you know, my Wi-Fi goes down, that'll be a bit of a hindrance for a bit. Yeah. These times ain't no joke. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I admit full disclosure, and I'm pretty sure you already know this, but I do struggle with depression, and I fell into a pretty heavy depressive state. At this point, we're in the process of digging myself out of it. Or digging myself out of the repercussions. I still have low moments, but That's why I'm fighting. I'm trying to do this stuff because I need to get my butt out of here. Scheduled and easy. That's criminal that you're not at 1K yet. Yeah, actually, that's a separate. I've been here since before a lot of channels. I do struggle with the oh look, crayons, type situation. ADD, ADHD, Asperger's, somewhere on the spectrum. I've never been diagnosed. But the more I go into the process of figuring that out with my kid, don't push the computer. You can go. The more I realized where she got it from, And Twitter handle. Mad's Mama Bear, actually. Or Mad's Mama Bear doll. Yeah, depression sucks. Yeah. I admit it's also made worse by mold, and I live in a basement apartment that's leaking. So, yeah. I am trying to keep up with you guys. I find that heavy and light periods come when my depression. Yeah. Creating does help. And so is this guy. Having somebody that believes in you is just really means the world. Afraid to pass. Oh, I love you, Grumpy. Mm-hmm. I always wanted to be a father, but in today's world, I think for the most part I do a decent job. I like to believe that, at least. It is. And the timing is absolutely horrible. I'm sure you know, yeah. I've heard the negative enough so many times in my life. Hearing positive is refreshing and always appreciated. And I'm learning to say it to myself too. That is looking awesome. Yes, sweetheart, I hear you. And I sympathize. Thank you guys. You'd think I would actually remember what my handle is. I'm on there all the time. I fight to become one with every pencil stroke. Yeah. And your stuff is just beautiful, Grumpy. Sure, you're lovely, Mom. Just remember you have light inside that can never be extinguished. I love that. That is a gorgeous saying. Little one is pretty awesome, but I worry about the future for her. Yeah. Look at me, I got that. Again, just got to take it one day at a time. Okay, hyperload that. That did nothing. Okay. Oh. Brief. Yes, that's what I want. I hear you. I don't even know if this is picking up at all on camera. Just trying to do a little dimensional shading here on the white areas. Yeah, and the Canary Yellow has this really interesting, stop that, really interesting shape on her belt that I just, the more I looked at it, the more I saw the beginning of a corset. And on the character, normally she has a yellow star in there because all of them have, they're the star kids. But like that is the perfect spot. What are we doing? Yes, you hear the kitty. She's cute, but yeah, noisy week. Noisy week sucks. And it is unfortunate that with the nature of watercolor, I won't be able to completely finish this off today. Hey, LDG. Let's see. 1,200 followers. Not many react to my tweets. Yeah. Speaking of cool people. Hey, LDG. One of the guardians of the Matrix. As long as she has a good dad for a backbone who loves her, she will be okay. Yep. His daughter? Absolutely. I'm on most of them. I'm not on TikTok yet. Yet. I may actually get to the point where I start streaming these things simultaneously. Because I recognize that that actually does help. And the cat just rolled herself off the table. Let's soften that line up a bit. Better. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not entirely certain how much longer I am going to go, because yeah, this is the kind of thing that will need to be done in stages. And at this point, I think I'm just playing with the one area. Though that is looking pretty awesome. Oh, thank you. Great, very solar. That, and I like actually that's your choice of words. I am a big fan of solar stuff myself. It's actually I have a tattoo of a sun on my back. And there she is again. You're gonna roll yourself off the table again? Stop that. Yes, everyone loves you. Even though you don't love everyone. I should rename these streams Drawing with Kittens. And on that note, I may contemplate continuing this probably for about an hour or so tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay. Catch you later, guys. Say goodnight, Kara.